Good afternoon. I thought I'd do something a little bit different and just do something completely unscripted and completely disorganised and unedited. And that's basically to go through some of my car brochures. So I'm going to be focusing on, well, not really going to be focusing on anything, but for this initial run I'm going to be focusing on what I would class as a modern executive car. So that would be anything from 1978-79 onwards, really. And this is probably a good place to start. I do actually have a brochure for a 164 and also the 144, but probably a little bit old. So the 264, I think, was the first Volvo that used the PRV V6 in 2.7 litre form. I think it was 2664 cc's. Now, if you know your engines, you'll know that the PRV Peugeot Renault Volvo was a 90-degree V6 engine. I think it was all aluminium. Open deck design, so wet-lined basically. That was developed between Peugeot, Renault and Volvo and went on to power a number of different vehicles over the years, and also went on to power the DeLorean, although the version in the DeLorean was apparently closer to the Volvo version than it was to the Peugeot or Renault versions. The engine went through a number of revisions over the years, sprouted 24 valves for the Peugeot and Citroën applications, and also gained a turbocharger in the mid-80s, its 2494cc version, I think, which was used initially in the Renault 25 V6 Turbo and also the Renault Alpine GT82 V6 Turbo. And was also used in twin turbo form in the Renault Safran bi-turbo and also in the Renault A610. So anyway, we're going to be concentrating on the Volvo. This was the top of the line back in 1979, 1980 for Volvo. This particular example that we're looking at here is the rather resplendent 264 GLE. The matching 265 would have been the estate version, and there it is in a nice blue colour. In fact, if we look at the colour and upholstery programme that came with the brochure, that particular shade of blue is either going to be blue metallic or blue. This is a wonderful thing about Volvo. And certainly in these days, there was no flowery names like, you know, Jade Green Metallic, Miami Blue, Jupiter Red, that such as the likes of Ford were using, or Tara Green, which was a BL colour. Nope, it was just basically, you can have it in white, dark blue, blue, green, beige, dark red, red, brown, yellow, or your metallics, blue metallic, beige metallic, light green metallic, or black, which was an optional extra. It then gives you the various trim combinations that you could have had with these colours. And also, a rather nice little demonstration of the trim. Leather, plush, which I think is velour, cloth, which I think is cloth, and cloth vinyl, which is cloth with vinyl. It's a bit like 123 series Mercedes of the times, which had a sort of like a cloth centre with an MB Tex / vinyl outer. It's quite a hard wearing material in both cases, in both this vinyl that's used here and also the cloth, nice and hard wearing. However, that would have been only present on the DL version. Your GLs and your GLEs would have got something a little bit nicer. Incidentally, the E is for fuel injection. So there's an example of some of the interiors on the various models. GLE, obviously top of the line. DL or Deluxe, bottom of the line. Also got the price list here as well. 1979 price list from Sheet Service Station. Now, if we were to go straight to the back of the brochure, which is what you sort of tended to do, you could get the 2.7 litre with 148 brake horsepower, fuel injection, power steering, sunroof, tinted glass, metallic paint, air conditioning, electric windows, electrically operated door mirrors, and plush upholstery. Plush upholstery. For a basic, if you went for the manual overdrive, is £7,002, or £8,192.34. That includes your car tax and VAT. If you go for the auto, a little bit more expensive, £8,491.85. If you were going to bring that in today's money, oh blimey, you're looking at sort of, I don't know, 40, maybe 45. You also had the option of the limousine, which had 6 passenger seats. And that was £17,147.52, which is an insane amount of money. You also had the 262 Coupe, which is a Bertone designed coupe. Very rare these days, and now, despite being hideously ugly in a kind of handsome way, which they were, very sought after. And if you went for the automatic, that would be £12,999.86, nearly £13,000 of your 1979 hard-earned earnings. This price list is correct as of 11th September 78. So let's take a look at the range of 4-door Volvo 200 series vehicles. Start off with a little bit of information about the car, including these rather snazzy illuminated belt buckles, which is quite nice. Also advises us that the 264 GLE has electrically powered side windows. Also advises us that the luggage compartment is fully carpeted and it's so deep your cases can be stood up. Handles, what? Hey, wow! And a chair, a seat, showing the heater elements. If you want to read this, I will slowly go down. I'm not going to read it out for you because I assumed you could read. If you can't, I do apologise, but that's the text there. And that also gives you a nice view of the airflow that you get. Also points out that the 264 GLE has full air conditioning as standard. Oh, look at that plush interior. Oof, automatic transmission selector there. I think these were using some kind of ZF transmission. I don't think they were quite on the 4 HP22 at the time, so they may have been using the 3 HP22. But certainly later ones did use the 4-speed ZF Auto. Very common for vehicles of this sort of nature at the time to use ZF automatics. BMW did, Volvo obviously did, and a number of others did as well. And this also sort of extols the many virtues of power-assisted steering. I mean, even as standard, the 264 and the 200 series had an enviable turning circle. And here we have a rather nice shot of the very functional interior. No symbols are used, it's all just written down, all words. Another sort of big thing on sort of the plus point of Volvo safety, you don't have to sort of grasp as to what the symbols mean. You know that that switch there is definitely window down for the passenger side and definitely window down for the driver's side. You know that that centre one is for your air conditioner. That is for the rear demist, and that is definitely for the rear fog light. Nice, simple, clear, concise. And this is actually the Volvo, that's the GL, so that would be middle of the range with the actually optional air conditioning, because the aircon was only standard on the GLE. Then got a shot here of the safety cage, which was something that Volvo actually pioneered. So the car actually had crumple zones and a rigid safety cage. Also had the diagonal circuit braking, so it wasn't split front and rear, it was split diagonally, which is a novel little safety thing, that if you should lose one circuit, you still are going to be able to brake diagonally, so you do maintain a certain amount of balance. Also got vented discs, which was quite novel and another safety feature, so reduce the amount of fade. And obviously the collapsible steering column, which was getting more popular. Now actually shows the crumple zones. Also side impact beams, which wasn't something that you didn't see. It was something you didn't see on standard cars until around. Well, I say standard cars. You didn't see on sort of well, other vehicles until around 1990. There was something else about this as well, about the airflow. So there was something to do, I think it comes on a bit later, but it does talk about the airflow through the cabin, actually goes through the sills to basically avoid them becoming moist and avoid any sort of potential rust. Quite a handsome car, really. That one is actually in the light green metallic. Also see we've got the nice wheels there with the chrome embellisher and the hubcap. We have an electrically operated door mirror, which is nice. Also advises us that the 264 has wide, low-profile, steel-braced, radial-ply tyres on 5.5-inch rims. Good for road holding and road comfort. And we've got the air conditioning as well, very much standard on our 264 GLE. Coming through here, we got a little bit of blurb about the engine. The familiar 90-degree profile of the PRV V6 there. Advises us it will run on economy grade petrol. And there's a little graph there showing us our torque curves and also peak power output. And we'll just focus on that a little bit. Now we've got the bottom of the V6 range, the 264DL. Not quite as plush, but still very nice. We've got shots of the interior. This is interesting. Vulnerable exposed parts of the exhaust system are aluminized or aluminiumized. Resistance to rust is built in from the start. Exposed body sections are galvanized. Each car of the 260 series uses not less than 3.5 square meters of galvanized sheet steel. Also, this was nifty, the pipes, the brake pipes, were made of a rust-resistant alloy of copper and nickel, which was pretty good for the day. 264DL had power-assisted steering, sunroof, electrically heated rear window, and many other features as standard. Did not have fuel injection though. It was a carbureted system. But for the day, it had an astonishing life expectancy of 16.6 years. Now that's not to say that at 16.6 years the car will fall apart and just cease to exist, but you would not be churlish to expect at least 16 years of hard life out of your 264 purchase. Now we're going to go slowly down the technical information so that you can review this at your leisure. Incidentally, the fuel injection system on the 264 GLE, I think, was Bosch Cagetronic. Again, sort of very common for the day, and also the system was shared in the Renault and Peugeot applications. Also got the various accessories that we could have. including that rather interesting looking radio cassette. And that is the end of that particular brochure. So all in all, that landed on the desk in 1979, and you had the money to spend, it certainly made a far more quality purchase than, say, a comparable Ford Granada or Rover SD1, albeit, and I'll be honest, a slightly more boring purchase, and I probably would have gone for an SD1 3.5 litre or a 2.8 litre Granada. But it would have been high on my list. And certainly as a second-hand purchase in the 1980s, you got yourself a lot of car for a reasonable amount of money. And certainly you had something that would last as well. Well, thank you very much for watching. I will do some more videos like this at some point. If you are interested in seeing more of those videos, don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Many thanks for watching.